Welcome back. We're going to bleed the brakes on my 2012 Lamborghini Gallardo LP550-2 today. So we got Mark over here helping, and we've got this all set up here to get ready to bleed the brakes. So we've got some brake fluid here, .4. So that's what we're going to use. We're going to try to use this pressure bleeder again. It depends on if we can get it in there or not. If we can't, we'll just do the manual bleed.
It's a pretty tight fit.
So we'll take a look at it. But anyway, that's what we're going to do. We're going to get started and hooked up here. So we're going to remove this cover here and then get access to the reservoir in here. We're going to take this cap off here. Like I said, we took this off. We're going to see if this fits in here. If it fits, we might be able to use that pressure bleeder. If not, we'll have to do the old manual way.
Here's the lid. So
here's the lid. We're going to try to screw that on there. It looks like it might work. The only problem with this, sometimes this unit does not seal tight on here. So if it doesn't seal tight, we might be doing it anyway. But it looks like it's screwing on there all right. So... Alright, so we've got our adapter hooked on here. The reservoir here, we've got fluid in it. You can't really see it. The line here is stained, so we're not using red brake fluid or anything.
We flushed it, yeah. It's
been flushed, so if you got any questions about that, it's clean fluid. We ran fluid through it. It's just stained from another job that we did. So what we're going to do is we're going to hook that up. We're going to raise the car up. We're going to take the rear wheels off and start from the rear and work our way forward. So,
where you go?
You go over here.
Okay.
So, I'll go through these instructions here in a minute. So basically, you're going to start in bleed order: right rear, left rear, right front, left front. All right. So we're going to get, once we get the car up in the air, we'll take the wheels off. We'll get set up back there also with our bleeder lines here. So we've got the lift up. We are using my new bridge jack underneath here. As you can see, I had a video on this that I put out a couple days ago. So we're using that. It's working excellent. So we're able now to get the rear tires off. We're going to take both rear tires off at the same time, which is going to make this a lot easier to do. And then once we do the rear, we'll move the bridge jack to the front, do the same thing on the front. So we're going to get this off and set up this jar here, which has fluid in it. And we'll hook our hose up and we'll do hook this to the bleeder and get going. So we've got the rear wheels off. We're going to start from the right rear outboard bleeder, then go to the inboard bleeder, and then same thing on the other side, inboard, outboard, and then we'll go to the front. So I've got fluid in this inner jar here. I've got our line hooked up. So Mark is pressurizing the system up there.
Looks good, not leaking.
Probably putting about 10 psi. I wouldn't go too much on it. You'll blow the cap off of it. We've done that before. So he's going to monitor that. And while he's doing that, we're going to go ahead and crack these bleeders open and then let it flow for a little bit. Now, if you're doing the standard bleeding per the manual, I think you're supposed to do it, they want 5 times. So you would pressurize the thing with your pedal 5 times, open, close, you know, that system. You should be familiar with that if you're watching my video, if you're a blood brakes. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and crack this open, and you should start seeing fluid flow out of here. All right. So I've got the bleeder open. You really can't see. I have a few little bubbles coming through there. Like, you're not going to get much. We're just basically changing the fluid out. I didn't have anything open, so we're not going to get a lot of bubbles. But we do have some fluid flow in here. Now Mark should be able to see like the fluid drop on and the pressure drop while we're doing this.
That's what I keep
And you can see inside the jar right there where the fluid is flowing also. So we have fluid movement. We're going to let this run here for a little bit. I mean, not too long, but enough to move some fluid through the brake so we know that we've flushed it out. And this outer jar was empty when I started, so you can see a little bit of fluid in the bottom already. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close this up, and I'm going to switch it to the inboard screw. And like any time, when you're working with brake fluid, just watch where you touch. Don't touch your paint. And then I usually wash down the calipers with alcohol, like rubbing alcohol, and wipe them down, just to not to eat the paint off any of the things. But definitely don't touch your body of the car. So we've moved to the inboard bleeder now. You can see fluid movement again. So we'll let this run here for a little bit so we know that we've moved a lot of fluid through the system to flush it. You can see the bottom has more in it. But I'll go back up here and show you how the setup is here. So we've got this reservoir here. We've got like 10 psi. Like I said, you really don't want to put a lot in this.
It's moving pretty slow.
So, because the last thing you want that cap blowing off if you have a cap that's not tight, and then you got fluid everywhere. And then also using that reservoir, just as long as the reservoir has, or the unit you have hooked to the car reservoir has fluid in it, you won't empty your brake reservoir on the car. So that's why another reason why we're using that unit. So you always have fluid, and you don't have the risk of emptying the brake reservoir on the car. So we're all complete on this side. I kind of wiped this down with some rubbing alcohol, just take care of any residue that may be on the brake that I didn't see, or on the caliper, so it doesn't eat my paint. So I've done that. Put the dust covers back on both sides here. So we're ready to go to the other side. We can put the tire on if we wanted to, but we'll just go ahead. Oh, yeah. So we're going to go ahead and get set up on the driver's side right now and do the same exact thing. So we've got the driver's side down, the wheels off. We've got the reservoir, or not the reservoir, we got this overflow bottle hooked up. The hose, we're starting on the inboard side right now. Waiting for Mark to get ready up front. So when he's ready, he's going to put like 10 psi on the system, and then I'm going to crack that open, and then we'll let that flow for a little bit. And then once we do that side, we'll move to the outside here, and then we'll be done with the rear brakes, and then we'll be moving to the front. All right, so let's get that set up there, and we'll move on. We've got this fluid flowing now. I don't know if you can see it moving. It's kind of hard to see. It's on the other side of the jar where you can see it, but it is moving through there. So we'll let that sit there for a little bit, let it flow. Mark's keeping pressure on that system, keeping about 10 psi on there, and then we'll move to this other side here in a second. We've got on the outboard side here, we've got the fluid flowing here. You can see an occasional bubble come up. So like I said, we'll let that flow there for a little while, maybe another 30 seconds, a minute. We're moving a lot of fluid through there, so we'll shut this down here in a second, and then put the wheel back on and move to the front. So put the caps back on, tighten the bleeders, Wiped it down with alcohol, so make sure that we don't have any brake fluid that's going to eat the paint off these nice yellow painted calipers here. Like I said, don't touch your car with the brake fluid on your hands. If you do, wipe it off immediately with something. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and put this wheel back on and torque the wheels up. The bolt torque was 140 Newton meters.
Which is 103 foot-pounds.
103 foot-pounds, if you were wondering. So 103 foot-pounds on the torque, or 140 Newton meters. All right, so we're going to go put this wheel back on. We've got the other wheel on, and we're going to move to the right front next. So the wheels are back on the rear. So we're going to go lower this down and move that jack towards the front of the car, and then we'll show you the mounting points too that we're using. Obviously the back ones here that we used, this is, like I said, 2012 LP550, so I don't know if the earlier ones have the designated areas here, but these are pretty well lined out in the back. So we're going to go ahead and move this towards the front, and then we'll find a placement to put it, and we'll show you where we put that. So I've got the right front wheel off. Mark's taking the left right now. We've got our bridge jack on the frame right here on both sides. Just make sure when you're doing this, just to check, make sure you're not crushing anything, because if you have this set in the wrong spot, you will crush some stuff. So make sure you don't have it on the plastic fairings here. It's on the framework. So and make sure you have it chalked in the back so it doesn't roll off your lift. That would be bad if you're using one. So we're getting ready here. He's almost got that little tire off, and then once he gets that off, I should get set up here. We'll do the outboard bleeder here first, the inboard, and then go to the other wheel and do the same thing. Got pressure on the system. I've cracked this open. You can see a few bubbles coming up. So we've got fluid movement. We'll let this sit here for a little bit, let some fluid move through there, and then about a minute or so. And then we'll move to the inboard side. So we've moved to the inboard bleeder now. We've got fluid moving through there again. So we'll let that run for about a minute or so, and then shut it down, and then go to the other side. We're on the left front. This is the last wheel that we'll be doing. We've got the inboard bleeder that we're doing right now. We've got fluid movement. We're going to let that run for about a minute or so, and then we're going to switch to the outboard side here, and then that will complete the bleeding process. They do recommend activating the ABS once the system's bled. We're going to hook a scanner up to it, and we're going to run it that way. They say you can drive it and get it to activate, but I probably wouldn't recommend that. So we're going to go ahead and show you that when we get to it, but we're going to continue to bleed these and finish this up. We're on our last bleeder now. We have fluid movement. So we're going to let this sit for like a minute or so, and then, like I said, once we get done, we'll put the dust caps back on, and then we'll put a little alcohol, wipe that down just to make sure that we don't have any residual brake fluid on the calipers there. So everything back together, cleaned up. Mark's going to go ahead and put the wheel back on, and then we're going to lower it and then torque the wheels back up. 140 Newton meters or 103 foot-pounds on the wheel bolt torques, okay? So we're going to do that, lower the car down, and then we're going to clean up the reservoir up there on top. Make sure we don't have any fluid up there, but let's get this done first. We have all the wheels back on, all torqued up, everything cleaned up, except for the reservoir over here. So we're going to go ahead, take this off. We may have to suck a little bit of fluid out of here. Just if you spill anything, make sure you wipe it up. And if you're using one of these, make sure you relieve the pressure before you disconnect that. So all right, look at this. Pull this cap off here. Like I said, it is full, so we're going to have to, I got it, suck some of that out of there. Cleaned up, we've taken a rag with alcohol, wiped around here, caps on secure now. Like I said, we did take some of the fluid out of there. So we're going to go ahead and put this cover back on. And then we're going to take a scanner and then buzz the ABS system, and then that should complete this job. So, I mean, if you want to, you could take it for a ride also. But anyway, we'll show you what we do with the ABS next. We've got the ignition on here. We've got the scanner hooked up. We're going through the system, and then we're going to try to find the ABS so we can run a system scan and see if we can get that thing to do a functional check.
Do you know where it says the transmission? Is it?
All right, so here's the paperwork. This is a little bit different than what we did. Like I said, this is going to walk you through doing a standard bleeding procedure. Like you're going to need 2 people. So basically, you're going to, fill the reservoir. It's going to be dot 4 fluid. I know it calls out this brake clutch BAS Hydrolan, or whatever how you say that, 404, which is dot 4 synthetic brake fluid. So that's just the brand that they're using. Sometimes these brands that they recommend are only available in Europe, or they're harder to get here in the US. But any good dot 4 brake fluid synthetic should work. Okay. So anyway, you're gonna go back here. You're going to take the cap off. Just make sure your area is clean. You don't want any dirt in there. And then, like I said, it tells you to go the rear, right, left, right front, left front. You're going to open the bleeding screws independently. You're not going to open them at the same time. Preferably the most outboard first, and then inboard. So you're going to bleed it until the air comes out. Don't introduce any air into the system. Okay, and then they said they want you to do it 5 times when you're doing it manually. So get your partner or whatever. You're going to push your pedal down 5 times, open and closing the bleed port as required. Like I said, we're not going to go through that procedure. So it shouldn't be any different than any other standard car. So all the thing they want you to do is they want you to do a road test to activate the ABS at least once. We activated the ABS with a scanner, so that's something else that we did, but that's what they recommend. Okay, no different. And it says 2 operators required, 1 in the car, 1 for bleeding. I just discussed that. Basically, you're not going to have them when you get done. Make sure you have a solid pedal, and that's about it, really. Forcefully activate the brake pedal, keep it pressed, open the right-hand bleed valve, fully repress the pedal, close the bleed valve, keeping the pedal pressed, slowly release the brake pedal after the bleeder is closed. This procedure must be carried out 5 times for each caliper, all right? After bleeding, the brake pedal should not be flexible. And it tells you about doing the ABS test again after that. This is the manual bleeding procedure. And that's it. So anyway, we'll proceed on. We had to go back to our Think Diag scanner. Mark can activate it from his phone. So we're going to activate the ABS. He's going to select next on his screen there, and you'll hear the ABS pump kick on. All right, so it's running right now. So he'll have to stop it here. All right, so we did that. That was the second time we did that. So I don't see any other need to run that anymore. So that really completes the brake bleeding of the 2012 Gallardo LP550. 560 is going to be the same. All the LP series should be the same. Really, all the bleeding of the system is not going to vary from car to car. So this should work for any of your vehicles. But anyway, thanks for watching, and continue to watch our channels. Please subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next video.